This is the SsangYong Rexton Ultimate, the top-spec version of the two-pronged Rexton range that's brimming with features to make it one of the plushest four-wheel drive SUVs on the market. It's also the most affordable range topper in its class, with its fixed drive-away price of $54,990, several $1,000s cheaper than rivals including the Mitsubishi Pajero Sport Exceed, Isuzu MU-X LST and the Toyota Fortuner Crusade. And it's about 20 grand less than the Ford Everest Titanium. If you're looking for a well-equipped 7-seat family SUV that can do everything from take the kids to school to a camping holiday, this represents great value. Based on the Misso 4x4 Ute, the second generation Rexton has been around since 2017, but has undergone a major facelift that brings a much bolder looking face, dominated by this huge grille and attractive quad-style LED headlights and LED DRLs and fog lamps. Not much has changed on the side. You've still got those distinctive long crease lines on the front and rear fenders, but SsangYong, to their wisdom, has added these big 20-inch chrome alloy wheels, which seem like a very odd choice for a car that can go off-road. Step inside and the Rexton Ultimate oozes showroom appeal with illuminated scuff plates, sunroof, powered front seats with driver's memory, ambient interior lighting, 360-degree reversing camera and a 10.25-inch digital gauge cluster. The driver's seat of the Rexton is a nice place to be. The seats are Napa leather with nice quilted side bolstering, and they're heated and ventilated too. The quilting is replicated along the dashboard trim and along the doors, and is just one of the few different finishes across the cabin that look and feel quite good. Overall fit and finish is pretty good. Hard plastics are mostly confined to hidden spots and just a central area on the dashboard above the 8-inch touchscreen. There is a wireless phone charger hidden by an attractive roller lid, as are the cup holders and 2 USB ports. Storage is okay, with a modest sized centre console tub and big door bins. The rear seats are upholstered like the front seats and look quite attractive, and they're really quite comfortable, and they even have heaters on the outboard seats. They pitch back, they recline about 60 degrees, but I can't say I'd be too comfortable sitting there. But if you do want to nod off and have 40 winks on a long drive, there's that option. The seats don't slide forward, however, they're pretty fixed. Legroom isn't bad, I'm average height I guess, and that's my driving position. But you know, if a couple tall people in this car, it'd be quite tight actually for such a big SUV. The middle seat isn't really comfortable. There's no leg room for anyone taller, and you'd need an inward curving spine to be comfortable here. But this does fold down, and you get a couple of cup holders and a very handy little storage tray. Other amenities include 2 USB ports down here, a 12-volt socket, a couple of air vents, map pockets, door bins, and of course the seat heaters. The rear seats are reasonably easily accessible. All you do is just fold down the backrest and then push the seat forward, and then you climb in, which is always easier said than done when you're getting old like me. If for some reason no one's there to help you put the seat up, it's just a matter of pulling the strap and the backrest up. But that is where the convenience ends. The third row seats, because these don't slide forward or anything, are really tight. It's a very low seat cushion, which means your knees are up and right against the backrest, and like anyone over the age of 11 will probably feel that. You'll fit a couple of kids okay, but thinking back to my childhood when I was a car seat kid, I couldn't think of anywhere worse to be on a long drive. I mean, there's no view. There's that window, but that, you know, little kid isn't going to see out of that. You know, it's just really tight, and you'd really feel left out and isolated if you were back here. There's not much by way of amenity, no USBs or anything. There are air vents with a controller, which would have been handy when I was getting car sick, but other than that, no. Look, this is not a full-time 7-seater. It's a 5-seat plus. Treat this as a 5-seater with a huge boot, with, you know, the option to have this little bench just in case you really need it, but even then, that'll be for short trips. Speaking of boot space, with 3 rows up, the storage is pretty tight. The floor space is about 116 centimetres wide and 40 centimetres between the tailgate and the seat back. But that area decreases as you come up because of the seat pitch. Still, I reckon you'll fit your weekly shopping or a set of golf clubs. Put the rear seats down and you'll have a massive 641 litre cargo area that'll take loads of up to 1.2 metres long. You can also raise the floor to line up with the folded seats to make for a flat surface. If you need to haul more, the Rexton has a big 3,500 kilogram brake towing capacity. So that's the overview. What is the Rexton Ultimate like to drive? The Rexton has a 2.2 litre turbo diesel engine that produces 148 kilowatts of power and 441 newton meters of torque. Power primarily goes to the rear wheels via an 8-speed transmission, which is sourced from Hyundai. But while it's primarily rear-wheel drive, you can select 4-wheel drive in high and low modes if you want to do a bit of off-roading or go on the snow. Though with those fancy shiny wheels in this interior, I'm not sure how often you want to do that. And while the engine is on the smaller side for a big vehicle like this, the power and torque outputs are actually more than its rivals such as the Pajero Sport and the MUX. It's pretty quick off the mark and will get you to highway speeds soon enough with that 8-speed transmission, finding the gears in a nice manner on the way there. Once you get going, the engine loses its clutter and sounds quite refined. In fact, it's probably one of the quietest 4x4 diesel SUVs I've ever driven. The Rexton has multi-link rear suspension that you think would bring good road manners, and while that is the case when you're going slowly around town, once you get up to speed, things start getting busy. This is an old school body on frame SUV after all, so the chassis is all over the place. But, you know, you feel every slightest bump and it just gets really busy and doesn't really like settling too much. It's not jarring as such, just relentless. It just keeps bouncing and doesn't settle, especially as road conditions deteriorate. And while you sort of get used to that in the front seats, it's not too comfortable in the back, especially in that black cabin. And while its 203mm ground clearance will see off any speed hump, you'll think twice about going over them quick. To be fair, none of its body-on-frame rivals exactly glide over road perfections, but they just do seem to settle a bit better than this. Of course, another issue with body-on-frame chassis is the handling characteristics aren't that great. There's a lot of body roll and the steering in this thing is quite light, so all that combined does sap a bit of confidence when you're in some bendy roads. But it brakes okay, and there are paddle shifters to help you come down the gears if you want to sort of ease yourself into those bends. The Rexton has an official combined fuel economy rating of 8.7 litres per 100 kilometres, which is about on par with the driving I've been doing. So is the Rexton Ultimate a bargain? Well, I think it is. However, I don't think it would be my first choice for a family SUV. That busy ride and that tight third row, which most kids will quickly grow out of, to me precludes it from carrying out that role, unless you've got maybe 2 older kids. But if you're looking for a large 4-wheel drive SUV with a big towing capacity, a huge boot, loads of creature comforts, and the ability to go off-road from time to time, then I reckon this ticks a lot of those boxes.